Hello, and welcome to this session of the Emergency Home Learning Summit with Learning Revolution. My name is Katie Steen, and I am a Google certified trainer. I'm an ed tech coach, and I've been an ed tech specialist working in international schools in the US and abroad for the last 10 years. And my purpose is to help teachers use technology, figure out how to make it work for them and their learners. To save them time, to be more efficient, and to be more effective. And my hope is that I'm going to share a quick tip with you today that will do just that for you. So if you are interested in connecting with me, if you have any questions about the summit information today, or you want to follow along on my blog, you can connect with me on Instagram, Twitter, and at my website down below. So today we're going to be looking at Google Forms and a feature of Google Forms that you may or may not be using, the quiz feature and the automatic grading feature. And we're going to look at how you can use that tool for self-directed learning to give your learners feedback. As teachers, a major problem in any classroom, virtual, hybrid, or face-to-face, in any time as a teacher in our classroom, we struggle often with giving formative feedback quickly and for our learners to have as much information about how they're doing as quickly as they can. And using Google Forms in this way is one more way to quickly give that feedback to students so that they can move on to the next learning activity and to organize that information. Okay, so we're going to look at how that might work for your students. So I have a Google form here, okay, that I have pre-created. And I'm using this as a self-check, a formative assessment just for my students' own learning as an activity. Okay, so for example, let's look at what percent of 16 is 4. Let's look at what happens when my student gets this answer wrong. So 50%. I'm going to submit. As a student, I'm going to view accuracy, which means how well did I do on this question? And let's see the response. So as a student taking this quiz, I can see that I got the answer wrong. I can see what the correct answer was, and I can see the feedback from my teacher. So this feedback says, spend some time reviewing this concept by watching the video below, and then there's a Khan Academy video that is linked right in the feedback response. So my student can watch this to jog their memory, to get some more practice on finding percentages in this activity. Let's look at what happens when we get this right. When a student gets the right answer, they have a totally different feedback response that they can read. So this feedback says, excellent. Start preparing for the next section by reading pages 23 to 25 of your textbook. So what we see as the learner experience, students have the information either way. They got the answer wrong, they know that immediately, and they have some resources that they got whenever they took this quiz and whenever they have the time to be working on these exercises. If they got the answer right, they're great, ready to move on to the next activity. So either way, they're not waiting on you as the teacher. That information is there for them, and there's instructions ready to move them along on their learning journey to the next activity. So this has been useful for me in face-to-face classrooms, and now more than ever, when you need to be able to give students a personalized experience and that information in an asynchronous way. So rather than waiting for one-on-one time with the teacher or live responses from the teacher, we really need to be able to give students information that they need when they need it, when their parents need it, when they're ready to take that on. Okay, so this is a super useful tool that Google Forms quizzes provides. So let's look quickly at how to make a quiz like this yourself, and it will go so fast. So in Drive, if you're using Google Drive, you're going to create a new Google form. I'm going to give it a title. We'll stick with percentages. Percentages self-check. I'm going to give some instructions to my students. So please complete the quiz, then check your answers for further instructions. I'm going to make a question. My question is, what percentage of 16 is 4? Now, when using the quiz feature, the multiple choice question does work the best. It's clear cut, the answer is right or wrong, and it doesn't leave any room for confusion or error. So for multiple choice questions are not appropriate for every assessment that you're doing, for every content objective that you're trying to meet. But for a self-check, if you're just wanting to give students a way to check their progress and move on with instructions, this is a great feature, okay? So the multiple choice question is what we're going to choose. So let's say, again, 50%. Let's say 35%. Let's say 25%. 10%. Then I actually like to add another option on multiple choice, which is I don't know. So this is just an extra tip whenever you're doing formative assessments or self-checks. Giving students the I don't know option keeps them from guessing and maybe getting it right, which would give you inaccurate data and would give them inaccurate information. So allowing them to have the I don't know as a wrong answer for the purposes of this quiz is an extra helpful response. So we're going to require this question. And what we see, keep an eye down here where an extra feature is going to pop up in just a minute. So we'll go up to our settings, and the real power, Google Forms is great for a lot of things, but the real power here is we're going to turn it into a quiz. So if we go to the quizzes tab, make this a quiz, and you have some options. So you can immediately release the grade after each submission, or later after manual review. So depending on if you want this information to go out immediately to your students or you want to grade some elements of it first, depending on your needs. For this purpose, because I want my students to get this without waiting on me, I'm going to immediately release the grade after submission. Then I can choose what my students can see, the missed questions, the correct answers, and the point values if I want. Okay, so we're gonna save all of this. And now down here, what's appeared is an answer key. So click that. We're going to give it a point value. It makes it work better. And we're going to decide what the right answer is. Okay, so 25% is the right answer, I think. Not a math teacher in my former life. And here is where you can start customizing by adding answer feedback. So for incorrect answers, I can put in text. So this can be, you can include a link. Okay, so we can include a link. You can upload a video. So let's go ahead. So we can search for our YouTube video, choose that, select it, and it's automatically there. And in my enter feedback, I can give students the instructions that I want. So this can be, take a look at this information, or it could be, go to your textbooks and do these practice problems, or it might be, go on to whatever LMS you're using and review these modules. So you can make that whatever it is. Okay, so this is for incorrect answers. For correct answers, I have the same option. So I can enter whatever text feedback I want, include a link, include a video, and customize that for my students. And I can save those responses. I can see feedback for correct answers and incorrect answers. Great job. Incorrect. Nice try. Review the video below. And try again. Okay, save this. And that's it. And now you can send this out through Google Classroom as a link posted to your LMS, wherever you're using, whatever you're using to post information to your students, and they have this self-check quiz ready to go. You can use this. This shows you just one question, but you can use this in a lot of different ways, and I hope your brain is thinking of ways that you might be able to use it in your own classroom. All right, I hope you learned something new today, and thank you for joining me in this session of the Emergency Home Learning Summit.